Hi, I'm Anna from BeautyGirlsMom.com.
I'm Jim from Left Wing Libertarian, and we're coming to you on, well, we're recording this, but we're also on Periscope. So today we're talking about part 1 and part 2 of Cescaphe in Philadelphia. Part 1 is we're going to be talking about the people who referred it to you, and part 2 is we're going to be talking about the material they've sent us, because we're going to be doing a tour of their facility
Saturday. Tomorrow.
Saturday.
So exciting.
With or without the bride and groom?
Without the bride and groom.
Yes! We don't need their opinion.
Making all the decisions ourselves.
All the decisions. That's right. We'll be deciding 100%.
And then they will all get shot down when Bridget gets here tomorrow afternoon.
Yes, that's yeah. So if Bridget can get here by 9:30, and for that, I think if you have any questions, send us a tweet, send it to Anna's Facebook. We'll answer them while we're talking, but otherwise we'll drop off a Periscope as soon as the kid with the Periscope hits the stop button.
Well, I mean, I told you.
What? Now talk over the video we're actually going to publish on YouTube with you yelling at us in the background. Such directorial comments. Okay, so how did we find this place? Have we been there before? Have you been there before?
Never.
But you know people who've gone there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we're still live.
Yeah, we're not live. We're recording. It'll be live. It'll be semi-live in 30 minutes.
No, I have.
This
never
is
been,
Memorex.
I have never been to a wedding at Cescaphe. Has several different venues. I've never been to any of their venues, but I have heard amazing things about the weddings there. Their reviews online are from 1 to 5 stars. 5 stars, wish we could give them 10 kind of reviews. Not just for the food, not just for the facilities. The people themselves, supposedly very, very nice, very professional, very helpful. And so far, we've only had 1 phone call, 2 phone calls with them. We have found that to be the case. Very warm, very friendly.
Overabundance of information.
Yeah, very good with quick providing us with information.
Not only quick
I will
providing,
get
but
that out to you. It's like, oh, you'll have it in 30 seconds kind of a thing.
Unlike some of the other places that have been considered or talked about, where the comment has been, when you want to get married, we got openings all year. We're looking 18 months out, and it's like we're hoping to get a spot there.
Yeah.
In-demand facility.
And again, multiple facilities. All of the facilities are completely booked for the day that Bridget originally wanted. So,
we're moving Bridget's wedding to a Thursday at noon.
Please come have lunch. Yeah.
It'll be an awesome lunch, though.
But that is something that you want to consider. If this place is totally and completely booked for how many venues? 5, 6 venues, 18 months in advance. That's a high level of confidence to their reputation. People want their location. They only do 1 wedding at each of the venues per day. So, that does limit it as opposed to some places that will do 4 and 5 in the same location on the same day at the same time. All of the attention at these venues is placed on your wedding. So that may be why they're booked that far in advance. But again, you're talking about 5, 6 different venues, all booked 18 months in advance for the day that we're hoping.
Now, I sat down earlier this week with a member of the bridal party, and we went through the Cescaphe website. And she was very excited at all the pictures she saw.
I'm sure she was.
Yeah.
She's 10, so she doesn't really have a say in the wedding.
She's a member of the bridal party, though.
Yeah. But the reputation of Cescaphe comes...
Wait, I thought girls start planning their wedding when they're 5 years old.
Well,
so
now you know what to start saving for.
So she has 5 years of experience already.
She has 5 years experience. But yeah, this was very highly recommended.
Wait, have you seen this video? Are you commenting on something? What was the 2 for? Is there a question? Okay, quit making faces in the background.
This place comes very highly recommended. I know several people that have been to weddings at several of the different venues, not just all in one location. And they cannot say enough about not only the amount of food, but the quality of the food that is served, the incredible staff, the beautiful decor. So it does come very, very highly recommended.
Okay, so now their package is what?
What is our part 2 of this video?
Well, part 2 is we're talking about...
Before I let you get off on a tangent and find out we don't need a part 2 because we've already covered it.
Well, we're all combined. So the package that they offer just without us having been on site. Soup to nuts, a la carte, they nickel and dime you? What's the deal?
So, from what I've seen so far, it is pretty much an all-inclusive type of thing. It is a price per person, depending on the day, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Based on your experience, is all-inclusive one price better, or is it better the a la carte nickel and dime me every time you get it, every time?
Well, and that's a really good question, because if you look at what you get at Cescaphe and their locations, somebody else might look at that and say, we don't want all that. You know, we don't want a wedding that's that long. We don't want all of those hors d'oeuvres. We want a buffet for our dinner, which is not an option at any of these Cescaphe locations.
By the way, let me give you my opinion on that right now. Buffet or sit down? What is my opinion?
Well, you probably prefer sit down.
Okay, but why? Which do you prefer?
I think I mostly prefer buffet because...
How are we married this long?
No, well, and probably even more so now that I've had gastric bypass surgery. I can't eat every piece of chicken. I can't eat every piece of steak. If it's been sitting back under warming trays waiting for, platter after platter to be delivered to the table, and now I get my steak and it's a little dry and a little, because it's institutionally prepared, I'm not going to be able to eat it. If I go up to a buffet line and there's different options for me to choose from, I might not choose the steak or the beef if it looks like it's dry, or I might opt for, the chicken if it looks a little bit like something that I could enjoy.
Okay, that's a really good reason why I'm not a fan of the buffet line. Things get dry because stuff is left out under the heat lamp.
Yeah.
By the way, now let me do one of those little cut scenes again, which you'll know from Wayne's World. Remember the beef commercial with the wedding?
Yeah, where everybody picked beef and one chicken.
And when did they pick beef? They picked it like 6 months before the wedding on some little checkoff card.
Yes.
And then 6 months later, the wedding shows up, and they didn't know what the chicken was going to be, and there's a whole bridal party eating beef, and the one bridesmaid switched her plate with someone else.
Yeah.
Beef, it's what's for dinner.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the point.
And but that's how weddings have always been done. I mean, people have always had the little cards where you have to indicate ahead of time what your menu choice is.
When you were doing wedding invitations, you had to actually tell people.
Make sure you order the cards. Some facilities are moving away from that. Cescaphe definitely is one where, the bride and groom will make their selections in advance. And then when you arrive the day of the wedding, instead of knowing 2 months in advance whether you're going to want the chicken or the steak, you can make your decision right there.
Yeah, how do you know 3 months down the road whether or not you're going to feel like chicken that day or steak? I mean...
Well, you make dinner reservations at Disney 6 months in advance. What if you don't feel like Italian that day? But yeah, I would think the day of the wedding, again, you don't know what's going to happen. Maybe somebody wakes up in the morning, has a toothache. They don't want to be chewing a steak. They want a pasta dish or a vegetarian dish because it'll be a little bit easier on the digestion.
So wedding's a big, heavy, stressful day for people. I mean, for some people, they may just, they may have heavy on the hors d'oeuvres. They want something like. I guess it's a choice that you could give your guests.
Yes.
And I think that's really a nice thing about a wedding package. You should give your guests as much accommodation or consideration as possible. Yeah. All right. So hors d'oeuvres. Is this a small hors d'oeuvre list, big hors d'oeuvre list? Do you have to pick the list?
This is a crazy list of hors d'oeuvres. First of all, their cocktail hour is an hour and a half.
First off, an hour is just not enough to drink.
Well, not that it's not enough to drink, but when you look at what they're offering you in terms of your cocktail hour, you're going to want to spend...
No, I mean that seriously. We had an hour and a half on our wine cellar thing, and that was not enough. People could have spent...
Well, people enjoyed it, but they enjoyed it because they were noshing on things and, trying the different wines. But...
So you need full bar and nosh. Okay, where do we get nosh? Nosh, not...
Well, you can nosh away here. So just... And all of these are included. This is not one of these where you pick 5 or you pick 6 hors d'oeuvres. This is just an abbreviated version of what is included with your hors d'oeuvres at this location.
Okay, but here's the problem with picking 5. How do you know what your guests are going to like? You may have, I'm looking at someone, you may have a rabbi come to your reception and,
Stop that.
Okay, I'm done with that joke now?
Yeah.
And you have vegans coming.
When you pick hors d'oeuvres, if your caterer does not make these recommendations, the things that you want to keep in mind is you want to have something that a vegetarian will be able to eat. I always like to pick a chicken, a seafood, something that's maybe popular. A lot of places, Philadelphia, I'm thinking specifically.
Eilish, what's popular with the kids with hors d'oeuvres these days?
No. We live in the Philadelphia area. We live in the Philadelphia area. A lot of caterers have mini cheesesteak sliders or whatever on their menu because it's popular in this area. So it gives a taste to your guests of your regional cuisine. But yeah, you want a variety. The bride might love shrimp. Don't pick coconut shrimp, shrimp scampi, breaded. You want to make sure that you have a variety that all of your guests will have something to choose. Again, this is where
You don't want all fried. You want baked. You want fresh.
you don't
variety.
want all fried. You don't want all beef. You don't want all meat products. You want to have something that has, a vegan or a vegetarian, maybe not vegan. It's a little hard to do vegan, but you want to have something that those guests can enjoy. But again, why it's also important to have some of those stationary displays of the roasted vegetables and the cheese and crackers and things like that. So if there's something, they're not going to want to eat the hors d'oeuvres. They're going to want to eat the hors d'oeuvres. I'm looking at you. They can choose something else. They can choose something, just take a little plate of cheese or whatever and go sit down. So, when you're choosing your hors d'oeuvres from that list of 5 or 7 or however many your caterer gives, you want to have a nice variety. You want to have a mix. If your caterer doesn't tell you that,
how many people we got coming to this shindig that you're making me pay for?
We have about 200 people.
About 200. How do you come up with about 200? I mean, is it 180, 250, 512?
Well, when you come up with your guest list, you have to estimate that about 20% of your guests won't come. I think because we're inviting out-of-town guests, that percentage might go up a little bit. I have at least one uncle who is not at his healthiest right now. He may not be able to travel. So you do have...
That's a horrible omen if he watches this video.
No, Uncle Bob, we want you here, absolutely. But if you're not up to it, it happens. People have grandparents or whatever that don't live in their location. You're going to send them an invitation because it's your grandmother or it's your cousin or, your best friend. They may not be able to come. Don't forget, when guests are coming from out of town, it's an added expense to them. They have to either fly to get to you or drive long distances.
Now, I understand that Bridget will be inviting President Obama to the wedding.
Absolutely. Barry, come on over. We're glad to have you.
Barry Goldwater, this is a different
We're like
president.
that, Barry and I.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right. Is Barry on the list?
I don't know.
We could name a lot of friends right at the bat. They should be on this list.
Pope Francis is on the list.
Oh, yeah.
Pope Francis.
But he might not be the Pope by then.
I thought Joe Biden...
What about former Pope Benedict?
He's not on the list.
No, why not? Why is she snubbing that one?
He's former.
He's still alive.
He's former.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the street cred anymore. It's over.
We know one priest who won't be invited. That's that priest from Cherry Hill. He ain't coming. All right, so back to the real things on the list. If you're watching this video, sorry, thumb it down.
We mentioned your name as not coming.
Yeah, thumb it down because you're not going to be happy.
Okay, so
all right.
To just go over some of the appetizers, some of the hors d'oeuvres that are listed on the, and everything is included in your package.
So I don't have to pick this out.
You're not going down the list and circling 3 or 5. You are getting.
So if I just hand them enough money, I don't have to pick stuff.
You don't have to pick stuff.
That's pretty convenient.
You give them a couple extra dollars and you don't have to worry about that ink you'll be wasting.
That is value add.
Jumbo shrimp cocktail, king broiler claws, snow cocktail claws, jumbo lump crab meat, oysters on a half shell, clams on a half shell, fusilli salad, tricolor tortellini. And again, I'm not listing everything. I'm just kind of going through it. Lobster tails, Alaskan crab legs, little neck clams in white sauce, mussels in red sauce, Hawaiian meatballs, sausage and peppers.
Wait, lobster tails. Are we getting the good ones from South Africa? Because, Bridget's worked in South Africa, and that would be
getting them from South Africa.
See, that's a plus.
South African
not just those
tails.
Maine lobster tails.
Are they conflict-free lobster tails? We'd have to check. I don't know. Is there such a thing? You get an antipasti station that has...
It's antipasta.
No, antipasta is one. It's antipasti.
Please tell me if she's making these things up.
Antipasti. Grilled vegetables, a ton
Barcelona.
of those. Barcelona. Cheeses and meats. You get a huge selection of those. And then you get what they call their Cescaphe specialties, which includes polenta, fried long hots, broccoli rabe, pepper shooters, is that a hot dog? Marinated long hot peppers. Mediterranean olives. You get a whole selection of there. And then...
Father of the Bride is a fan of the olive bar, so this is a good...
The guests will be presented with 30 to 40 different hot butlered hors d'oeuvres. And I imagine this is a seasonal thing. You probably, some of them they don't have in season.
30 to 40, that means a tray of 30 and they pick 1 or 2, or you mean 30 different types?
30 to 40 different types.
Oh, wow, that sounds even better than what I thought.
And they include, and again, as I said, you want to have something for vegetarians. You want to have something, meat, something fish. Bacon wrap, barbecue shrimp, wild mushroom phyllo log, blue cheese, bacon and rosemary quiche, short rib pierogies, beef skewers, potato wrapped shrimp, Kobe beef sliders, chicken quesadillo, vegetarian sume,
Yep, most of this stuff is not available at Cowtown Rodeo.
lamb chops, it is not, raspberry and brie crisps, mini Reuben sandwiches, sweet potato puffs.
Hey, there you go. There's your local slider.
Clams Casino, spanakopita, pigs in a blanket, salsa
Isn't it
verde,
spanakopita?
chicken burrito, duck spring rolls, cheesesteak hoagies. I told you it's a very regional thing. And then, because that's not quite enough, you have what they call their action stations. In addition to the appetizing menu presented on the preceding pages, the following chef-attended stations are included. Again, for an hour and a half. This is why they give you that extra half hour, because
You just go around and count all this.
yourself.
It's taking us an hour and a half just to read the list.
Tableside freshly cooked pastas, prosciutto and fontina sacchetti with roasted red pepper sauce.
You know, as somebody who orders freshly cooked
tortellini,
pasta with lots of garlic on it,
mushroom
I'm a fan of it.
ravioli. So even again on this pasta station, you have a prosciutto, you have a meat, you have tortellini, that's a cheese, and you have a mushroom ravioli. So you have a vegetarian option here. Cescaphe crab cakes, lobster and risotto martini bar, and then a sushi station and specialty items. So
I believe this will get Granuel's thumb up.
She's already there. A selection.
Well, wait, Granuel already said she liked this venue.
And
She's
a
already
selection
done
of Asian specialties. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different sushi rolls and specialty items, including blackened tuna, soft shell crabs, tangy chicken and broccoli. Again, some of this probably is seasonal, depends on what they have, because you can't get soft shell crabs. That's just your cocktail hour and a half. That's
Okay.
just the cocktail hour.
All right, so-
you could be full without ever sitting down to dinner.
This is not saying that everybody's going to walk along here and load up plates of every one of these items, but the amount of options that it gives people is really just horrendous. I mean, it's just
Horrendous. It's
stupendous.
It's stupendous.
It was some endless word. I couldn't remember which one.
Some endless word.
Yes. There are only two.
There is not a guest in your entire guest list that would not be able to find at least a couple of items. that
Okay,
they
let's
would
give this
enjoy.
the ultimate test. How could Dotsy bitch about this?
Well, people are going to complain. They complain. It's too much seafood. People don't like that much seafood. There's too many hot. There's not enough cold.
The seafood was next to something I liked, and I got the seafood smell. So you're never going to please everybody, but holy cow, this is a huge list.
It is a huge list.
And we don't have to pick now, because that's the other part that annoys
Yes,
me.
you do not choose from these. All of those are included in your wedding package.
Which is something that you've brought up in every wedding video we've ever talked about. The wedding is for the bride, but the wedding is for the bride's guests to enjoy themselves, to be there to celebrate the bride.
The wedding is for the bride and groom. The ceremony.
Oh yeah, the groom. Sorry, I forgot about him.
Yeah, I forgot about him. The ceremony is about the bride and groom. It should be very personal between themselves and God, or lack of God, and as the case may be. That's a very personal thing. That's about the beginning of the rest of your life together. The party afterwards, and this is exactly what I told Bridget the other day, it's your party, but you would not invite people over to your home and not have food that you could feed them. You would not invite people over to your home and not have a selection of beverages for them to drink. You would not have guests in your house and only serve food you know they're not going to like.
I have a comment about this, but I'm not allowed to say it anymore, so it's implied right here. Asterisks.
Probably not allowed to say it. When you're planning your wedding, the wedding is about the bride and groom. The party is the celebration with all of your family and friends. You want to keep them in mind when you are picking your celebration, when you are making choices for this celebration. That's why you don't have the all-meat wedding reception. Beef Wellington as your appetizer, prime rib as your dinner, bacon candy, maple bacon candy ice cream.
Not a very variety palette there. I mean, it's...
But that's part of it. If the groom is a big meat eater and that would be his ideal wedding, that's fine. But he's not the only one that's going to be eating. You're feeding, in Bridget's case, 200 other people.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that when you plan this party, you plan it with your guests in mind. If you have elderly people that can't go up and down steps, don't pick a venue that's on the second floor without an elevator. We've been to places like that.
Yeah, I was going to say we had one like that. Yeah, it was...
We've been to places like that. You're either telling those guests, we don't want you there, or we're really hoping when you get there that we can get you up the steps. And we've
Or
had,
worse, that we completely forgot that you were in a wheelchair.
we've had to carry a wheelchair up a flight of stairs to get somebody into a party that we hosted, totally not prepared for this guest. We didn't know at the time they were going to be in a wheelchair, but we were totally not prepared for this guest at that venue.
And here's the difference, though. That's a party. There was no shortage of people who were willing to help carry the wheelchair because everybody wanted them to be there as part of the party.
But it's uncomfortable for the person in the wheelchair. They don't want to be the center of attention on your special day, and they certainly don't want attention drawn to their disability. So when you're planning your wedding, keep that in mind. Try not to pick a venue that only has stairs as access to your party. You always want to keep your guests in mind. I think Cescaphe does that. I think by offering you this huge range of food, huge selection of options, places to go, I think they're giving you the biggest bang for your buck.
All right, so what's after appetizers?
After appetizers or hors d'oeuvres, your cocktail hour, your guests will be escorted into the particular ballroom, wherever you're having it. And it is a 3-course meal. It starts with a salad, and there are, I can't even tell you how many salads. It starts with their own Cescaphe salad, which is, like just a spring mix with cucumbers, mozzarella, olives, very Mediterranean. There's a pesto salad. There's the classic Caesar salad, a Greek salad, an Asian salad. There's even a wedge salad on here for if, you want to keep things simple. Maybe you want an old throwback to some old steakhouse or whatever vibe you're going for. There's easily a dozen salads listed. I'm sure they would work with you. And then you have your intermezzo with looks like 10 or 12 different sorbets: lemon, pineapple, coconut, strawberry.
Am I back on a
peach.
celebrity cruise line ship? Oh, an intermezzo.
I know you love this kind of thing.
Why do we not go on celebrity cruise more often?
And then you have your entree choices. And again, they are broken down for you when you look at their website. You have all of your beef selections, so you can choose your beef. And they have, after you've chosen your beef...
Okay, so we're in a disagreement here. We do not know if your guest gets handed a menu of these 100 items or if you have to chop it down.
You will chop it down. Your guest will be handed a menu with, and I'm not sure how many, let's say 3 different
Because that's part 3
choices.
of this when we actually ask. Yeah.
Yeah. So, they will be handed a menu with the different choices, but the bride and groom can choose from braised short ribs, roast prime rib, various filet mignons.
So they don't take away all my choices we have to worry about. They just take away the ones in the front.
Yes.
Yes. Wait, do I have to pick the sorbets too?
The bride and groom have to pick the sorbets. Somebody has to pick the sorbets. But again,
I like lemon sorbet with the little
this is
spoon.
not something that your guests have to pick 2 months in advance when they get their cards. This is something that they come to your event the day of, and they'll get the menu that says, here's the beef, here's the chicken, here's the fish, whatever, and then they'll make their selection based on what they feel like eating that day.
Oh, well, that's a nice thing. I mean,
But again, from the 12 different beef dishes, then you come down to the 10 different sauces that you can choose to go along with your beef. Everything from a wild mushroom demi-glace.
not to flash back to a nonsense thing, but here's something that makes nonsense of. Somebody shows up at the wedding and they put down a plate of beef in front of you and you go, why order the chicken or the chicken and the beef? And they go, well, on the paper it says you're getting this. So
Yeah,
now
this
what?
eliminates that.
Yeah,
because you will have somebody at your table the day of your wedding say, what would you like?
Yeah, that really is another example of where your guests can be frustrated at your event.
Yeah.
Why go into it letting them get frustrated? Take that away from them. They're supposed to be there to celebrate and have a good time.
Yeah. So again, this is, lots of choices with beef and a sauce for each one. There's easily a dozen choices of fish, everything from salmon to lobster tails, and there's another dozen
Hogfish.
Sauces. No, not hogfish.
Oh, man.
But there's easily another dozen sauces that you can put.
That's a real fish. I didn't just make that up.
Yes, that you can put with your fish. They have veal selections. They have pork selections. There's lamb. There's chicken. Easily 6 chicken. There's duck. And then you'll get to choose a starch to go along with each. And they have a selection of vegetables to go along with
So I guess here's the other part of that, though. I may really like... You may be to a lot of receptions in South Jersey, and you have to have that, chicken marsala or whatever it is. And there's some places that make it good, some places that don't. If you go somewhere and they don't have it on their menu, you're not going to look up whether they have chicken marsala or not.
They do not have chicken marsala.
I would think with
But
this
again,
many
they
choices,
don't
you're
have
not going to ask them because it's not something they probably make good because they don't make it regularly.
They don't have chicken marsala on this. Does that say chicken marsala is...
Old?
Old? Is it a lower budget item? Is it something that they can make a ton of ahead of time and just serve it to your guests? The chicken options on here, I don't see anything on here that you could prepare ahead of time. Chicken Havana, it's chicken breast stuffed with jumbo lump crab meat, shrimp, lobster meat, and served with a lemon brie blanc. This is not something that they're making 200 of and stick it in the freezer. It's got seafood in it. None of these look like things.
Well, all the steaks are not, prepped out, a month in advance and put in the freezer.
And none of these are swimming in gravy, like the chicken marsala. I happen to like some chicken marsala. I'm very picky with that. I don't like all of it.
Picky?
But none of these are those, sliced, thrown in gravy. Here's another one, chicken Milanese. It's thinly sliced, panko-crusted chicken breast that they pan saute with pecorino cheese, and they dress it with, greens and vegetables and stuff. There's nothing on this list that says they've made a huge batch of it. It's coming out in a catering pan, and you're just going to scoop it out as you want it. Everything here looks like it's prepared the day of with your guests in mind. They have orange duck breast. These are
what are you ordering for dinner?
Rack of lamb.
What are you ordering for dinner off this menu?
Oh my God. I wouldn't even.
Dead silence now. Dead air. Dead air alarm is going off. What are you doing? This is a show where we talk.
There's just so much on here. Like I love braised short ribs. I would say that would be a good one. But if they don't choose the braised, I would go for that chicken with the seafood in it.
All right,
that gives me the best of both worlds.
Here's a suggestion. We'll get the table where do we sit at? What is it called? A parents' table? Is that what it's called? Where do we sit? Is it a parents' table? Do we sit at the head table? Where do we sit?
It depends on the bride and groom. I think our bride and groom are going to choose a sweetheart table, which is just a table for the bride and groom. Mm-hmm. And then we'll have a table for, like us and the girls and, my sister and Bob and Ann.
Okay, so what we'll do then is we'll add an extra table next to you where no one will sit, and then you can get 2 entrees and you can taste them both.
Put extra food there.
Yeah, just because you're special. Okay, so if that entire list was available to you, you'd be staring at that menu trying to find something.
Not that I would be staring trying to find something. I would be staring at that menu trying to whittle it down to, oh my God, they all sound so good.
That's an interesting perspective on choices. But again, a good caterer is
going to say to you, these are some of our popular ones.
That is a very interesting perspective on choices. Are you looking at the choices trying to figure out, what do I even want off of this, as opposed to, oh my goodness, what do I not want, or what do I want more out of this? And one of the ways we've always solved that is I just don't order. You order 2 things and we sample them together.
Yeah.
All right. So what about dessert? Is there another order after entrees? Or is it straight?
Well, that's your 3 courses: the salad, the intermezzo, and the entree. And then
wait. What about soup to nuts? Where's the soup in this?
There is not.
Don't people eat soup anymore while they're eating a bridal gown? Wearing a bridal gown? Not eating it, but wearing it.
But and again, I could go back down this list of hors d'oeuvres and. There's like a lobster cobbler.
Lobster cobbler.
That just sounds so good.
That sounds like a big spoon and one of those little things, whatever those big spoons are,
I don't see soup on the menu. It's not like part of your 3-course meal. But again, maybe having a bigger dinner after you've had all of those hors d'oeuvres just...
Yeah, maybe balances out, I guess. Which would you rather have?
Yeah.
All right, so what about what comes after the entree?
So after the entree is your dessert.
Okay, so now, hold on. What is, without looking at the list, because you've already looked at it for an hour, what is the best dessert to have at a wedding? There are people who just have the wedding cake.
Yes. And the good thing about Cescaphe is you can go online and you can choose any combination of cake flavors.
By the way, hold on. Time for a flashback. Thank goodness that people don't smoke anymore at wedding receptions. Not that we have never smoked or we don't have smokers in the family, but when people smoked at receptions, they would smoke in the hall, and all of that just seemed to be attracted to the wedding cake. And people would never eat the wedding cake because it was 8 hours of smoke filled.
Yeah. But one of the things that they do at Cescaphe is they don't give you a selection of here's our 5 kinds of wedding cakes. Go online, look at wedding blogs, look at other bakers' websites. You come to them with the idea or the vision that you have. You choose the flavors that you want. You are not limited.
Just to point out, we didn't actually pick our wedding cake, did we?
Yeah, we had a choice of pound cake or Italian cream cake.
We had Italian cream cake.
We had Italian.
But we didn't pick out the look of it, did we? I know I didn't. It was this tiers with flowers thing. It looks lovely in the pictures.
Round 3-tier cake, and I chose fresh flowers. You had an option of like a cake topper or whatever. We chose fresh flowers.
If you'd like to see the video where Anna assaults an innocent man with a wedding cake, it's on YouTube. Go back and watch it.
But anyhow, yeah, custom designed wedding cake. Anything you want, they will get for you. They include a 4-tier wedding cake, which should be enough to suit your guests. And you choose whatever you want: flavors, styles, shapes, anything.
Now the tier doesn't affect the shape, or well, it does the shape, but it doesn't affect the taste. It's just the way it looks.
It's just how big your cake is.
Because you can see it from across the room, I guess. It's not like a 4-tier cake is 4 different flavors, or in fact, there's nothing implied with that.
But you probably could say 4 different flavors. We had, when we had Bridget's Sweet 16 party, we got our cake from Ace of Cakes in Baltimore, and it was different flavors on each layer. I think that's an interesting concept for a wedding. The only thing I think is wrong with that is if you really want the pumpkin spiced cake and it's gone, you're kind of out of luck.
Well, here would be another way to do that. Have a dessert bar.
Well, here's the good thing about Cescaphe. You can go with one flavor for your wedding cake. Do your one flavor.
Chocolate.
The options.
Brian, you well suggested that flavor.
The options that will be available to your guests in terms of dessert boggle the mind. Completely boggle the mind. They boggled the dog's mind so much that she has done a backflip on the floor without even being able to read.
She hit behind the chair.
Poor dog.
In case you couldn't hear that high squeak voice in the background, that's our producer / camera operator.
Eilish making fun of poor little Harper.
What did the dog do?
She went to go jump with the chair and she fell backwards.
I still don't understand. Could you tell me that in English?
She tried to jump up on the chair and
Okay, so the dog's here tried to jump up on the
She did
chair.
not get enough momentum, is basically what we're saying.
By the way, we have to do a separate video because we finished the living room finally. We never did a video on
I
this.
finished the living room finally.
All right, so dessert
anyhow, when they get to dessert, they will have a piece of your delicious, wonderful wedding cake designed and chosen specifically by you. But then Viennese desserts, which include shooters, bunch of shooters, different flavors, chocolate pot de creme.
Speaking of shooters, now the bar is open this whole time?
Yes, you will have open bar for your entire event. Assorted 12-inch cake, so it's not even like, you'll have little tarts. You will have strawberry shortcakes, cheesecakes, coconut cakes, chocolate decadent cakes.
If we're going to have a 6 or 7, 8 hour open bar, we need to be like near a hotel for people to crash for the night.
6-hour open bar.
These facilities are near
all
hotels?
All of these facilities are in Philadelphia. They are within, most of them, within walking distance to several of the downtown hotels.
Which is a really big thing because we have a lot of people coming from out of town.
Center City hotels, yes. Fresh fruit tarts, chocolate mousse squares, individual pastries like tiramisu, torte, chocolate and raspberry.
Is there anything on this dessert menu that I would actually walk up and get?
Well, you're not a big dessert person. But tableside, the chefs are preparing bananas Foster, molten lava cakes, waffles and ice cream, and funnel cake. Who doesn't love funnel cake? I would almost book them just for funnel cake.
All right, hold on.
No,
Here's my thing.
But wait, there's more. This is my favorite part.
With a wedding this long, we have been to weddings separately because I've been to like one at the Polish festival and the Jankowski family and stuff where the wedding goes so long that you're there to breakfast the next day.
And you can have breakfast at the end of your event while people are having dessert. There are also interactive stations. You can choose one of these stations. One is a chocolate fountain. They're already over chocolated with all the desserts you have. The other option is breakfast.
Can I get grits? 2 eggs sunny side up, grits and scrabble?
You can get cooked-to-order omelets, blueberry stuffed pancakes, brioche French toast, cream chipped beef, hash browns, bacon, sausage, and a Philly favorite, you
grits?
can get scrapple.
Ooh, well, scrapple.
Can't get grits, but you can get scrapple.
Can't get grits.
I would love that because you've had your dinner, you've had a little bit of your dessert, a piece of the wedding cake or whatever.
Oh, wait, do they hand this to me in a box to walk back to the hotel, or am I still eating here?
No, you're still eating here. Again, you're here for 6 hours. Big party. You've had your dinner, you've danced the night away. Now you just want a little something before you leave. Have breakfast.
How often do you leave a wedding reception and say, stop at McDonald's on the way home?
Dude, how many times have we gone to a wedding reception where the dinner was at 7 o'clock? We're now leaving at 11 o'clock after dancing or having a good time. And we stop at a diner. What do we grab?
Well, it's not just we stop with a bunch of people at the diner.
Yeah. What do we grab? We grab dessert.
Now the dog's afraid to jump on the chair because the dog's afraid to
We
get
grab
up.
breakfast. People are not sitting at the diner now ordering steak dinners. They're ordering omelets. They're ordering French toast. They're ordering waffles.
She's
they
afraid
want a
now.
little breakfast.
The dog is afraid. You people laughed and made it so the dog's afraid to hop on her chair.
So this, I think, is pretty much...
Why don't you just help me?
Because you're distracted.
I'm sorry. You know, by the way, when I watch these videos after we make them, I love the guy that sits over here. He was like the best part of these videos. There have been many comments from people with names similar to mine who have said they love that guy over there is awesome.
Anyhow, I think this is the most comprehensive wedding menu, reception menu that you will find.
Okay, so
anywhere.
let's say you don't have your affair here because the date's not available, or it's outside of your budget, or your kid just goes, nah, I'm not having it here. Whatever the reason is. What was that?
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. We know our children. Can you? I mean, this really is kind of the benchmark of a wedding menu.
Yes.
I mean, so far, I mean, you've gone through this thing for a couple hours. You've mentioned nothing wrong with this that you could ding or comment on in any way.
No.
And it eliminates a lot of problems that some people might not have even thought about, like the having to get the card ahead of time. And again, the beef industry made fun of that decades ago.
No, this is definitely the benchmark for me in terms of what to look for at any wedding venue. You know, they give you linens, they give you an upgrade of chairs, which some places do not. You have an option to have your ceremony here.
By the way, in case you want to know what I'm drinking, it is orange juice, milk, a splash of vanilla, and a raw egg.
That's because you don't wash that cup. So any of those things could have been in that cup at any given time.
In honor of the passing recently of the father from Eight Is Enough, who ran a commercial on TV in the 70s talking about the orange pick-me-up, the egg pick-me-up.
Yeah. Another thing they have here, which you might not think of to ask for at your location, is they have a bridal suite, which we had when we got married. Your day is nothing but hustle and bustle. And in a lot of cases...
Speaking of bustle, will they fix your bustle?
They will do the bustle for you on your bridal gown. You do not have time to breathe this entire day. You're getting up, you're getting your hair done, you're getting your makeup done, you're going to the church or to your ceremony venue. From there, you're going to get pictures done. It is a nonstop day.
Okay, if we do this type of event, are we going to have the
bridal
guy at the
suite-
door with the book accepting envelopes and writing them down? Because I love that custom.
You mean soprano style?
No, Asian style with the red envelope.
No, we're not.
It is an Asian custom done throughout the Asian world.
No.
Two largest countries in the world do it.
No, we don't do that. You're not Asian.
Well, we could.
You're not Asian.
All right. What about this affair? See, if we go
The
to
bridal
Cowtown,
suite-
if we go to Cowtown, you
you
can't
stop?
have black tie.
The bridal suite is something that I think a lot of brides and grooms don't think of, but it really is an opportunity for you to come, sit down,
And eat stuffed grape leaves.
breathe for a few minutes, relax for a few minutes before you have to get back out there to 200 people, all who want to shake your hand, say congratulations, give you gifts, whatever. It really is just an opportunity.
Give you those
for
awkward
to
kisses
relax.
over your big, huge dress that
They
people
will
can't
bring
get around
you
you.
food. They will bring you hors d'oeuvres to this room. It really is just a nice opportunity for you to sit back for 5 minutes.
Really, I think of the bridal suite as something different. Your guests already saw you at your event. This is a chance for them to mingle with their friends and family who might not be sitting at their table. They really don't need you right now. You should go away for a little bit. Go take your pictures. Let your guests go have a good time at the baptism.
It's also, we had a bridal suite at our wedding.
Stuffed grape
It was
leaves.
really nice for us to sit down. It also kept us out of the wine cellar until towards the end when they were getting ready to escort guests out of. As soon as we went into the wine cellar with me in a big white dress, somebody came up with some dripping something fruit. Oh, here, you got to taste it. It will keep you safe. It will keep you safe. That's all I'm saying. You really want the bridal suite if you can get it at your reception.
And I guess the question is, any venue you're going to should specify that they have one and that they do these things. I guess if you have to ask, then they probably don't do it, or they don't do it well.
Yeah.
Because it's an afterthought.
And I want to just clarify for guests, we have not booked this venue for our daughter or any of the Cescaphe venues.
That's video 2, which you might see tomorrow.
This is our benchmark. This is the kind of thing I would want my daughter to have. The bottom line is we have to do some of what she wants to do. This would be my benchmark.
And we can have the services here.
Yes, you can have your wedding ceremony itself here at the.
So people don't have to drive and
locations.
travel around. It's a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very convenient, especially if you have a lot of out-of-town guests. You don't need to shuttle them.
Yeah. So between hotel, access, service, the look of the place, this really is the benchmark. We have to figure out, availability. And again, this place is booked now for the next 18 months.
It is, well, not for the next 18 months. It is booked every Saturday in November of 2016.
And a lot of Fridays and Sundays.
Except one, which is Saturday right after Thanksgiving. Kind of hard for people to travel that weekend. More expensive for people to travel that weekend, so that might not be the best weekend to have. But it is booked a lot of the Fridays and Sundays at all of their venues. And again, they have multiple venues. They have 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is the counting portion of today's show.
5 different venues. That was the count.
5.
Yes.
5
So they
venues
have
for
5
Bridget to reject.
5 different venues.
Sight unseen.
All of them with like a different vibe to them. Tendenza is a very I don't know, it's like brick. It's very contemporary looking. It just all.
And we're going to be in all
have a
these on
different
Saturday.
vibe.
So I mean,
we will see all of them on Saturday.
So we'll give you a review of what we've seen, and I think the feedback from this is we need to figure out what you like and what's available, because really my choice is just shut up and sign the check. And then you have to figure out what the bride likes. And then it's just a case of, what's the final, where's the pick, I guess. We don't know.
But we will certainly see.
Because again, she could come back to us and say, this is the date I want, and on this date, this facility is available.
Yeah.
And that's more important. So and again, these are factors that we've talked about. Which is more important? It's up to your individual preference.
Yeah.
If she wants that date and that day, it doesn't matter where it's at.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll let you know tomorrow what happens.
Or in 2 weeks or so. Yeah, because when is she even going to look at facilities?
July the 11th.
July the 11th? Mm-hmm. How did we get a booking?
Well,
how did we get a booking in a day at a place that's busy for 18 months?
It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with her availability. Just coming back from South Africa, and the two of them with their own obligations down in Maryland, and so that's when they're next available to come up here to do some of the touring around.
Well, and that's one thing I do give credit to the staff when we spoke to them at Cescaphe was that, they said that, 75+% of their tours are done by the parents only.
Yeah. Because
the children are out of town, they're working, they're doing stuff, and, it's the parents. What is that? Because that looks gorgeous.
That's one of their buffet displays.
I went through these pictures with Granuel, and, there was not... Oh my goodness, who would put a bad picture on their website? They didn't, but every one of these pictures was just awesome. And again, we're supposed to be talking to you, but for some reason we're staring at little pictures here. What are you doing?
Just
Stop
looks
it.
delicious.
Look at that. See?
It's beautiful.
Now, all right. My thing is, if you don't go to the wedding, you don't go to the reception, you lazy cheap
And
bastard.
that is for another day. My name is Anna. I am from BeautyGirlsMom.com. Please hit the subscribe button wherever it appears on your screen.
By the way, your kid wants black tie optional?